fangs pumping in, 2-inch fangs, a big Gaboon Viper, and look at that venom. I tell you what, I got the shakes, look at that. I'm shaking like a leaf because you are so close to death, and the worst thing about this venom here, it'll make your leg and your arm fall off, but it's going to stop your heart.
Not a rat in the baby pen. Throw the whole baby away. That's pretty scary. That's not a mouse, that's a rat. New York style.
This thing just fell out of the sky from nowhere, and now I am convinced that there is such thing as fairies. Like, I'm just on a walk, and I'm on the road, and it just fell in the middle of the road with no trees.
Look like a butterfly to me.
Oh my god!
This life is an afterlife, and you had to die in order to live this life now, the life that you are currently living now. And even though it might seem like this is the only life that you've lived ever, only because you're aware of this one experience and this one experience only at this current moment, that does not mean that you have not lived other lives. You have a spirit and a soul. And the spirit and soul can operate throughout many vessels, just like hopping in a car. You can operate your spirit and body outside of your car and hop in many different cars. Hopefully that makes sense. So with that being said, you've had other lifetimes or experiences elsewhere other than Earth before you incarnated here. You maybe even been to Earth a couple times. You just barely remember. But the whole point of this video is to tell you that everything is connected. Everything is connected. So what you do in this lifetime, what you feel, you resonate with, the things that are naturally drawn to you, the things that you naturally do, pay attention to these things, because these are things that you have done that have stuck with you over lifetimes. Okay? And it's not like after this lifetime you just die and go to heaven or hell. Those are polarities of energies. Within these labels, there are levels and dimensions that you can align yourself to, no matter if it's good or bad. You're going to align yourself with that frequency, and you're going to operate there until you can ascend. That's how it works. It's not just the universe is much more bigger than that. It's much more vast than that concept. But yeah, this isn't your first incarnation. Pay attention to what you're connected to, because it all matters. When you spawn here, the whole point of this thing is to make you forget. So start remembering. Start doing things that make your inner child feel good. And from there, your inner child will show you the way.
I do feel like we had past lives before this. Stuff to come naturally to us is probably because we did those things in our past lives. But I do feel like we chose to come here, and that'll ruin the whole game if we knew where we came from before this.
Have you guys seen this? Apparently they're called Mandrake Plants. I've never even heard about this, y'all. but she took it out of the pot and the plant started screaming. Y'all see that? So I was confused as to why that plant was making a high-pitched frequency. So I found this, y'all. Check this out. So apparently plants produce a high-pitched frequency when they get stressed.
New studies suggest that when plants are under stress, they release a high-pitched sound that is inaudible to human ears. The research published in the journal Science provides the first evidence that plants produce ultrasonic sounds when they are damaged, and that these sounds may help them to recover from stress. The study was conducted by a team of researchers from the University of Western Australia and the University of Cambridge. The team used a technique called laser Doppler vibrometry to measure the vibrations of a plant leaf as it was cut with a razor. They found that when the leaf was cut, it emitted a high-pitched sound with a frequency of around 20 kilohertz. The team then tested whether this sound had any effect on the plant's ability to recover from stress. They found that plants that were exposed to the sound of a cut leaf recovered from stress more quickly than plants that were not exposed to the sound.
So I guess them screaming is a way of them being under distress, and it's healing them in a sense. This is like frequency healing, vibration healing, sound bath. Y'all see that, right? Now, I wouldn't think nothing of it, but even the Bible mentions the mandrake plant. You see, it says for thousands of years, this plant was revered by many cultures, which ascribes to its mysterious and demonic qualities. Mandrake is mentioned in the Bible, and its biblical use is generally attributed to its supposed fertility power. So what do you guys think about that plant? Is that real or not? I mean, I remember a scene in Harry Potter where they showed this stuff. But here we are with that little girl, and then them talking about the Bible as well. So let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting time. You already know we in this shift, y'all. We getting it. Let's get it. Peace.
Y'all think this real or is this cap? You ever heard of this type of tree before? Cause that root looked like root from Garden of the Galaxies.
Getting closer to a future where a simple blood test can be used to predict dementia over a decade earlier than we're currently able to diagnose it. This would be a game changer. So a lot of the medical breakthroughs happening in Alzheimer's treatments require very early detection in order for those treatments to be effective. And of course, it's AI helping make this a reality. The researchers gathered blood samples from about 50,000 healthy individuals in the UK, frozen between 2006 and 2010, and then analyzed 10 to 15 years later with the help of artificial intelligence. AI was able to uncover patterns of 4 proteins that could be used to predict early dementia. Blood test isn't yet ready for mainstream use in the medical system. More tests and studies need to be done. But AI is drastically lowering the cost of science and medical research, moving us towards a future of prevention. Very early detection. Even just the slightest signal that something might be going wrong, AI flags it and we can intercept it.
Look at this and tell me if you recognize anything there.
Yes, I do. It resembles a panel that I saw in Construction Antarctica. That was a panel that had the star map on it.
And the star map, do you know?
From what they could estimate, it was not only our universe, but 3 universes combined in one large star map. The focal point was what our Hubble Space Telescope has photographed and recorded at that time. Then they correlated what the Hubble Space Telescope had taken photographs of that was not in our universe, but actually a different universe outside, further out than what we think our universe is.
I know that what you just said to me was that we were using the Hubble to photograph in another universe outside of this universe.
Yeah, ma'am.
And then another universe.
Yeah, ma'am. The way it was described to me, they were taking mathematical equations, formulas, from different points of our universe and pinpointing it to photographs or recordings that was made by our Hubble Space Telescope, which at that time was the best technological device that we had at that time.
Was this generated by extraterrestrial beings?
Yes, ma'am.
I literally just told y'all last week, what is going on? Look at this. Look at it. We are literally witnessing an interdimensional invasion. These things, like I said last week, are everywhere. I've seen like 30 of them in the past 2 weeks. There's so many different things that they could be. We could say CERN messed up the realities and other dimensions, entities are coming into ours. Or we could say that just the veil is lifting. But one thing is for sure, these things are everywhere. Like, look at this thing, and no, it's not CGI. People don't understand the differences in dimension. If you have a piece of paper, it's 2D. If you draw a little dot in it, that's your viewing point. You draw a square, all it's going to see is a line. The same way us 3D beings will see a 4D thing flying through the sky. That reminds me a lot of the jellyfish UFO. I mean, look at this. Look at this thing. Now, a decade ago, you would see one in like a long time, like a pyramid or a weird shape. Now they're popping up doing weird crap every single day. So if y'all want to rationalize these things, go ahead and do it, but you're gonna have to face it soon. And not just these fallen angels and interdimensional beings, but the Greys as well, and so much other stuff. Whether the veil is lifting, whether CERN ripped the portal into a different dimension, they're coming in, it doesn't matter. They're here, we gotta deal with it. Look at this thing.
Giant spiders are starting to appear again, not just all over the country, but all over the world. In fact, I got some video, but first look at this story. Last October, a giant spider caused a car crash in California. I think it picked up the car and threw it. Now, I got a couple videos to show you, but be pre-warned. This is some freaky stuff. Look at this damn thing. It's as big as this guy's arm. What's he doing? It's got claws, picture claws. It's a giant spider with picture claws. Why is he playing with it? What kind of person plays with a giant spider? Get away from that thing before it crawls under your skin, starts eating your muscles alive, baby. Get away from that spider. Oh, I got another video. And this one starts calm, but it ends freaky, baby. Look at this spider crawling on your floor. But it's the small one. It's the small one. Look at this giant spider on this plate. Can you imagine this thing crawling on your face when you're sleeping? I don't want that. Ah! We have floods, earthquakes, tornadoes, blizzards, and now giant spiders. Man, life is just getting freaky. Shabba-doo-booshkis. Shabba-doo.
I think I have a slight case of arachnophobia because when it comes to spiders, I don't want no dealings. I'll leave my house before I came close to something like that.
So the Super Bowl just passed, and I think we need to go back and reevaluate this Super Bowl commercial. Because hello down there, I think they're trying to tell us something. And I'm gonna need y'all to look and listen. Look and listen.
Reports of flying saucers are nothing new.
These are routine sightings, not isolated events.
Are you seeing that? It's spinning. There's a whole swarm of them. Oh my God. They're all against the wind. All against the wind. Look,
they too beat up down with their phone. They don't care.
There was an historic hearing today on Capitol Hill and an unprecedented bipartisan push for UFO transparency.
とにかくまず今日は浜かについてるクリエイティブでビューティフルなコラボレーションをしてる
I know this commercial gonna blow over a lot of people's head, but they said 1 million words. And then subliminally telling you that you're so distracted with your phone and technology that you can't even see what's right in front of your eyes. Now, I don't know about y'all, but they ain't gotta send no message to my phone. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this UFO Super Bowl commercial in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned.
Morbid Facts, Part 198. During a January concert in 1982, Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off of a bat that was thrown on stage. Ozzy claims he thought it was rubber, but it was actually a live bat that managed to bite him in the mouth and force him to be treated for rabies. Here are some unbelievable x-rays of a person infected with worm parasites after eating raw pork for several years. All of those white lines you see are calcified cysts from worm eggs that hatch throughout the body. In 1976, Princeton student John Phillips wrote an essay about the model of an atomic bomb he designed that would only cost $2,000 to build. He was the only student in the class who got an A on the assignment, but the FBI confiscated his essay. In 2020, 16-year-old soccer player Alexander Martinez was shot and killed by a cop in Mexico who confused him with a criminal. Before he was laid to rest, his friends wanted him to score one final goal by laying out his coffin and kicking the ball against it.
Look, they spotted the block. It's only for a couple seconds. Look at that shit. So for those who don't know, the block is basically supposed to be one of the biggest sea creatures that exists in the ocean, supposedly. Everybody thought to believe the megalodon, but it's really the block. Right here, this is like a baby block, and this is a blue whale. They said, you know, the blue whale is supposed to be the biggest ocean creature, but nah, bro. The blob is given the name of a mysterious underwater sound recorded in the 1990s, right? They try to tell people that it was just ice shells breaking in Antarctica and all that, right? But they said that the sound was so scary that it sounded like a group of 90 blue whales from one sound. Now, this is supposed to be a 3D image of like how big the blob is compared to a human. And y'all wonder why people scared to be in the ocean, right? We're gonna run it real quick one more time. Look, y'all, look at that shit. Oh my God!
Dude reach and make an assumption about what that is. Nizzy, that's a cherubus.
Use copper pyramids to heal your body. You can create a copper pyramid. You can put your seeds underneath the copper pyramid and it will help them germinate quicker and they will also be much healthier. You can also put food under a pyramid and it will preserve itself indefinitely. This is a fascinating one. Les Brown talked about this. He put food underneath a pyramid and above a pyramid, and he noticed that it would preserve itself indefinitely. So you could take like an egg, crack it open, put it in a pyramid, or place it above a pyramid, and it will preserve itself. And if you want to bring it back, you just put a little water on it. This was the work of Les Brown. He understood that we could use shapes to heal, preserve our body, preserve the energy, the aura, the essence of everything. You even saw copper vinyl records. Copper vinyl records before plastic. Statue of Liberty, copper. Buddhist monk temples, copper. You see copper all over the place. So why would we not be doing things with copper? It doesn't make any sense.
So they're trying to scare the people again with more solar storms. No lights, no water, a blackout, no internet, no food. No. It don't work like that. Let me tell you the truth about these solar storms and what's really taking place. The end of last year, this planet got hit with so many solar storms that is making people wake up spiritually. It's forcing people to wake up. So if you want to be asleep, it's not going to work no more. We are in the age of spirituality. So many people are waking up. Look at the world. But what they're doing is this. If they keep telling people these solar storms are going to cause a blackout, tornadoes, hurricane, if they keep putting fear inside of you about the sun, you are going to be afraid of the sun. And if you are afraid of the sun, you are afraid of your spiritual awakening because the sun activates your spirituality. They cannot stop what's going on. That's the scary part for them. They know a big change is happening right now. So all they can do is make people live in fear. No more internet, no more internet. Did you know that the matrix is really the internet? The internet is the matrix. Look at the people on the internet. Everyone look the same, they talk the same, they act the same, they want to be the same. They don't want no spirit no more. They don't want their soul. All they want is Apple Vision and an artificial robot. Once they came out with Apple Vision, it should let everyone know what's really taking place. They are changing our reality once again. It's a matrix within the matrix within the matrix. Therefore, you can never wake up to no kind of spiritual knowledge because you're going to be stuck in so many traps. So what's going on right now with these solar flares? Do not fear these solar flares. The sun is actually waking you up spiritually. The sun is the good guy. The sun is on our side. The sun wants everyone to evolve. Think about it for a moment. All life comes out when we had a sun, right or wrong. So if all life comes out when it's springtime or summertime, why would the sun get rid of us if it's giving us more life?
I see no lies told. All the people on IG, like the girls, doing the same poses, the guys dressing the same kind of comments. And I love the sun. It's so many benefits that come with it. Without the sun, there wouldn't be no life, so how bad could it be?
Why aren't we made of antimatter? Antimatter looks the same as regular matter. This could be an anti-avocado. The only difference is, if you touched it, you'd explode. Antimatter is the same, just with an opposite charge. So instead of an electron with a negative charge, you'd have a positron with a positive charge. There are still faint traces of antimatter in the universe, but it's thought to have been more abundant after the Big Bang. As our matter and antimatter came into contact, they exploded, leaving behind pure energy. This kept happening until antimatter eventually canceled out, according to the Standard Model, which is some seriously mind-numbing quantum math that tries to explain the whole universe, says that there should be more antimatter than there is. Imagine if all the matter and antimatter in the universe was like the heads or tails of a coin, and they're all spinning on a table. They can't be defined as heads or tails until they land. And when they do, for the most part, there should be about half heads, half tails. But that's not what happened in our universe. We all got heads. Some scientists believe evidence might be found by studying a kind of phantom effect on electrons, a minuscule occurrence affecting an electron's center of mass and charge, called the electric dipole moment. Something could be happening here because of new particles, or existing ones that decay differently when they come into contact with matter versus antimatter. And maybe it's still around. The problem is the effects are so small that whatever is possibly causing them can't yet be detected by any craft that we here possess. Whenever the imbalance, thankfully it was there, or maybe nothing would exist.
We can all agree roller coasters are pretty fast, right? Like you feel the speed when you're on them. How about a fighter jet? These pilots literally pass out pretty often due to G-force because they're going so fast in these jets. Now stay with me. The fastest fighter jet is 2,190 miles an hour. That is extremely fast. Like I said, these pilots pass out pretty often due to the G-force. Now, it is said that the Earth is orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Yet we don't feel a damn thing. Look at them trees. It's almost like the Most High already told us in His Word, fear before Him all the earth, the world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. Who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. Is there any foundation on something that's spinning, flying, orbiting at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour? I don't think so. This here is an accurate description of our world, of our universe. The earth is flat and stationary, with pillars underneath. There is an underworld. We do have a heavens above, right, where Yahuwah is. He's looking down on the earth. Right, he said the heaven is his throne and the earth is his footstool. Right, what they call space is really just that little section between the earth and the firmament. And then above that is the waters. Why do you think we all naturally look up to the heavens? Alright, do you think there's any heaven on this thing? That's why they deceived us with this. They want us to be away from the Creator, and they want us disconnected from Him and His Word. I'm here to tell you, it is flat, it is stationary, there is a Creator. It's all one big matrix, and once you free your mind from this, a lot more things are going to start to make sense. It's pretty much why I made the True Earth book for you guys, so you can basically learn all this information in a short period of time. You can download it, it's in my bio. Shalom.
What do a banana, a nuclear weapon, and a smoke detector have in common? They all contain radioactive substances. This might come as a surprise, but radioactivity is all around you. Radioactive substances are radioactive because they undergo a process called radioactive decay. Now, I've explained what radioactive decay is in another video, but in short, radioactive decay is a natural process in which one type of atom spontaneously transmutes into another type of atom. In doing so, it typically emits something called radiation, but we're not going to worry about what the radiation is in this video. Instead, we're going to focus on one of the most important properties of a radioactive decay process. In particular, we're going to talk about half-life. So the half-life of a radioactive substance is the amount of time it will take for exactly half of that radioactive substance to decay away. In the case of uranium-235, which is commonly found in nuclear weapons, it takes about 700 million years for half of a sample to decay to thorium-231. Potassium-40, which is commonly found in bananas, has a half-life of about 1.25 billion years, and it decays most of the time to calcium-40. Americium-241 is commonly found in smoke detectors, and it has a half-life of about 432 years, and it decays into neptunium-237. So in the example of americium-241, is it true that after around 950 years all of your americium will be gone? Well, not quite. Let's take a look at a plot. So here's a graph of another radioactive decay chain, this time for cobalt-60. In it, we can see that if we start with 10 grams of cobalt-60, after 1 half-life's worth of time, which is about 5.72 years, we would have 5 grams of cobalt-60 left. But after another half-life's worth of time, another 5.72 years, we don't have 0 grams of cobalt-60 left. We instead have 2.5 grams, because half of the remaining 5 grams have decayed, and so on and so forth. So the reason this happens is because the radioactive decay itself is a probabilistic phenomenon. When you have a sample of a radioactive element, you have hundreds of billions or trillions of that element. And at any given time, any one of those atoms could decay, but it's a probabilistic process, and any one of those atoms decaying is quite rare. So the half-life is the statistical average of how long it would take for approximately half of them to decay away. And once one half-life has already occurred, you would be left with half of your sample left. But importantly, because the individual atoms still have the same probability of undergoing the decay, and you have fewer of them, the amount of atoms that decay in a certain amount of time also decreases. And so we're left with an exponential decay process, where every certain amount of time, exactly half of the remaining sample decays away. Just as a quick aside, knowing the radioactive half-life of various elements is super useful even in fields as far away from physics as paleontology. You may have heard of carbon dating, a process used to determine how old certain ancient objects are. And that method takes advantage of this precise phenomenon that happens with radioactive decay. So now you know.
Everything has some radiation to it, whether good or bad. Too much of anything can kill you.
You were born last Thursday. Right, this is just a theory, and this is one of the craziest theories I've heard, so stick with me, but parts of it do make sense, so don't judge yet. This is a theory called last Thursdayism, and it's essentially the theory that the universe could have been created pretty recently, like last Thursday, but created with the physical appearance of it being billions and billions of years old, as we think it is today. Meaning, anything that can counter this theory, your memories, recordings, photos on your phones, are all installed into this, so it's like it's happened, but it hasn't. But we literally just popped into existence, and the universe seems older than it actually is. Everything was just put in almost like, you know, a video game. Now the scary bit is there is no way to prove or disprove this at all, meaning you can only be sure of what is right here, right in front of you, right now. And it also links in with the theory of solipsism, which is the theory that you are the only person alive. And again, there is physically no way to prove or disprove this, because if it all exists in your mind, you can't disprove it or prove it. Even scientists have said there's no way they'll ever be able to tell. So if you're the only person alive, everybody around you is just a figment of your imagination, which your mind has created, so you don't feel so alone in this life. And maybe the universe was only created about a week ago, but it feels like we've been here about, you know, however old you are, but you haven't. I don't know what to think of this. No.
I was born in a day, but not yesterday. And that's an interesting theory, but we can't prove it. But some things ain't meant to be proved, or else we'll be able to.
But this really in Miami, I'm not playing. Look, the airport is right over here. That's the airport. You know what I mean? It always got little lights and stuff, you know, it's probably airplanes. But over here, this ain't the airport. Look at that.
There's definitely something in them clouds. They trying to show us some people walking or something?
Live in a simulation because life rearranged spells file and it's being recorded by the two eyes. This is the only thing that exists. It's an electromagnetic toroidal field. This field creates all things in nature. The flower of life is a top-down view of this torus field. This spiral of energy creates all things in nature. Your spirit is a spiral of energy. This is why they share the same root word. The torus field is a unit of light and it's 99.9% empty space. Therefore, everything's made out of light. Low vibrational light turns into matter, high vibrational matter turns into light. At the center of every torus field there's a hyperboloid, which is the inhale and then exhale of energy. Our nose is the same thing. It's a hyperboloid which inhales and exhales and renews life. This is why the seeds are in the center of the apple, because it renews life. This is where the infinity sign comes from. It's the torus field. The torus field gives you the past, present and future. The only thing that exists is an indefinite now. There is no past or future. What you recall as a memory is actually energy. Everything in this matrix simulation is red and blue, because the torus field is white light splitting into red and then blue light. This is why the police sirens have white light and red and blue. The link is in the bio for this PDF for more information.
I do feel like this is something sort of a simulation, whether it's like the movie or the Matrix, or it's just a totally different setup, but it's most definitely game-like.
When you die, you have choices. You don't know this, but you have choices. When you leave your physical body, it is very typical for you to see yourself standing next to your body with either your loved ones or EMTs or whatever the circumstances are. And you see yourself, and then you'll hear a voice, you'll see the tunnel of light, and the voice will be calling you, or you will hear the voice telepathically telling you to come, you know. Now, as you stand there and you're looking at the tunnel of light, you have a choice. You can go up to this tunnel of light where you'll be with other loved ones that have crossed over, usually, all right? And you'll be put into a system where you are essentially caught in a reincarnational cycle, a loop. Or you can turn around, put the tunnel of light behind you, and what you will see is the entire universe. If you choose to go to the universe instead of the tunnel of light, whatever dimension you came from when you came down here to Earth, okay, we'll keep it all present time and place. Earth, whether it was 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th density, whatever it was, if you choose the universe and you say to yourself, I wish to go home, you will return to that dimension from which you came. So if it's 5, 6, 7, or 8, you will leave here and you will go back to that dimension, where I am told you'll be reunited with your soul group. Because we're multidimensional, we're in many places at once. I've never shared this information before.
People say they wouldn't choose to come back, but I think most people be begging to come back because the experience is so vivid and cool, and they feel like they had something else to do.
So many people are afraid of this blackout or the solar storm that's going to take place because they don't know how they're going to survive if we live in darkness. I want to tell you something. They did this before. Remember in 1999 when all the computers were supposed to crash and the world was supposed to end in 1999? What they didn't tell the people was this. We are dealing with different generations. After 1999 took place, every child that was born after that is connected to this artificial intelligence. If you was a child before 1999 or you was born before 1999, you was a child of nature. It's nature against technology. Because when I was young, all we had was beepers. We had beepers and we was always outside. You could not make us go inside for nothing because we always wanted to be in nature, running around, having fun. So what's going on right now is different ages and different generations. This generation right now is really artificial intelligence. Children are so in tune with iPads, laptops, computers. But the trick is, make them go outside. People look at this blackout like it's a bad thing. This blackout can be a good thing because now your child can go outside and reconnect with the trees, the insects, the bees, the sun, the stars. Children don't even look up no more because they always have their faces in these iPads or this technology. Now that we have Apple Vision, it's a game changer. Now people are going to be really living in virtual reality to the point where they're going to turn their back on nature. Nature will never turn your back on you. Nature will never turn her back on you, your children, no one. So the question is, why are we turning our backs on nature when nature gave us everything? So do not fear these blackouts. This happened before. The computers was going to crash. We was going to be back in darkness. It don't work like that. It's all a mental mind program. Everyone is living under hypnosis right now. It's mind control. That's what it's all about. They're trying to push us back into the dark ages when we were dealing with witchcraft and witches and warlocks. We are right back in that same time frame, but we think that stuff never even existed.
Check this out. This is the motorcycle from the future. This thing is sick. No specs. It's going to be produced, specs will be public in 2 years, and hopefully next maybe 3-4 will be produced. But this is pretty much design, and this is not changing. This is going to look like this thing. It's insane.